Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my office on a Friday evening in Vienna Theatre Project's curfew evening, and our 1000 and 1000 and 1000 and 1000 and 1000 and 1000. Welcome to our 1001 nights reading. My name is Joanna Godwin-Seidl, and I am a director, producer, actress running Vienna Theatre Project, and I am once again your host for this evening. So it's an absolute pleasure, as usual, to read for you. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit, and this, by the way, is the music of Kamyab Saderi. It's really naughty. Hi. It's really naughty because Kamyab's surname is written Sadeghi, and in Persian, of course, you say Saderi, and I always get it wrong and I say Sadei, so I should apologize to Kamyab profusely for very rudely and repeatedly saying his name long. See, I'm just tongue-tied today. I don't know what it is today. It's obviously going to be a really brilliant reading. Ladies and gents, I think, without further ado, I should start reading to you. And if you want to wait until the very end, I'm going to read you a poem in English. What I will do, though, very quickly first, is I will invite a couple of other groups on to the reads, just so that they know that we're reading again. I mean, typically they know anyway, before I have to do that afterwards, because it's not so easy anymore, as you know, as I've been saying all week. So just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to shut up for 2 seconds. I'll let you listen to Kamyab's very beautiful music. And while I just very quickly invite 2 groups to join us. And I only ever invite these groups, I have to say, particularly because I like their names so much. Hello, Christian. Hi. It's very nice to see you this evening. So give me just 2 seconds, guys, and I will be with you. I have to change that. And then I have to change that. Tonight I am very relaxed because it's Friday. It's the weekend. So what are you going to do? And none of us can go out, right? Well, certainly we can't in Austria at the moment as of 8 o'clock in the evening. There is still a curfew going on in Austria. So, as a result of that, I have to stay at home. So, I have something good to do though, because I can read for you guys. So, let me see. Oh, Kamyab reading in English, singing in English. Passion for books, that's what I really like. And then we're going to do one more, okay? And then I will be with you. I hope you've all had a really great day today. I had an absolute fashion dilemma for tonight's reading. It took me forever. It took me forever to find something to read tonight, and then I was getting changed and getting changed again, and then suddenly I realized I hadn't even prepared my stories yet. But we're all prepared now, and I am going to turn Kamyab down, and I will post you later one of his songs on Facebook so that you can find those. I've got my tea ready. I've even got, because it's Friday, so it's party night, I even got a little glass of wine with me because I've got a hot online date with one of my closest friends who's in Berlin at the moment working. So she and I have got a hot online date after this, as we cannot meet in person. So I've got my wine ready, I've got my cup of tea ready, I have the story. So if you are ready, then I would say, let us begin. And I'm just going to turn Kamyab tech off because I can't concentrate and listen to. A lot of people can multitask, and I can generally, actually, but not today. Right, come on, it's 8:10. Joanna, start reading already and stop waffling. So, everybody, we are now on, oh, let me just double check this actually, that I've got the nights right. I did. I did get the nights right. So we are on the 329th night. And if for whatever reason you do not tune in for the rest of the month, make sure you tune in on the 20th of March, because we have a very, 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 very special reading on the 20th of March. It will be our 1 year anniversary of reading 1001 Nights, the Richard Burton translation. That's right, folks. Saman and I have been reading 1001 Nights since March 20th. So since the very first lockdown in Austria, there's been one since, and the lockdown is kind of half relieved at the moment, but still all the event locations aren't open. We have an event online, Cafe Contagion. Please look at Vienna Theatre Project. If you do nothing else this evening, check on the Vienna Theatre Project page for Cafe Contagion, one of our other events, which is on an online theatre event with music, with monologues, with comedy, with meaning, 7 actors finding their voices in the middle of a pandemic. I do invite you to come read it. The tickets are only €10 and these actors need the money. So, because some of them have been out of work, unfortunately, for a whole year, because our whole industry has been more or less closed down for a whole year. So with one little opening time that we had from last February onwards, we had a period of opening between August and September, and then we closed down again at the end of October. So that's it, folks. Cafe Contagion. And now I'm going to start reading for you. I hope you all enjoy the reading very much tonight. 1001 Nights. It's a Richard Burton translation. Again, my name is Joanna Godwin-Seidl. Welcome. Now, I'm going to get this cushion I've got behind me. Looks incredibly comfortable. It looks incredibly beautiful, but it's a little bit almost, I don't know, a cushion can be too big, but this one is. Right, here we go. Now, when it was the 329th night, Shahrazad said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that the young lady rejoined, We accept thine excuse. And calling one of her slave maids, said to her, O Luft, give him to drink in the golden tankard. So she brought me a tankard of red gold, set with pearls and gems of price, full of water mingled with virgin musk, and covered with a napkin of green silk. And I addressed myself to drink, and was long about my drinking, for I stole glances at her the while, till I could prolong my stay no longer. Then I returned to the tankard, to the girl, but did not offer to go. And she said to me, O Sheikh, wend thy way. But I said, O my lady, I am troubled in mind. She asked me, For what? And I answered, For the turns of time and the change of things. Replied she, Well, mayest thou be troubled thereat, for time breedeth wonders. But what hast thou seen of such surprises that thou shouldst muse upon them? Quoth I was thinking of the whilom owner of this house, for he was my intimate in his lifetime. Asked she, What was his name? And I answered, Mohammed bin Ali the jeweler, and he was a man of great wealth. Tell me, did he leave any children? She answered, yes. He left a daughter, Budur by name, who inherited all his wealth. Quoth I, meseemeth thou art his daughter. Yes, answered she, laughing, then added, O Sheikh, thou hast talked long enough. Now wend thy ways. Replied I, needs must I go, but I see thy charms are changed by being out of health. So tell me thy case. It may be Allah will give thee comfort at my hands. Rejoined she, O Sheikh, if thou be a man of discretion, I will discover to thee my secret. But first tell me who thou art, that I may know whether thou art worthy of confidence or not. For the poet saith, none keepeth a secret but a faithful person. With the best of mankind it remaineth concealed. I have kept my secret in a house with a lock, whose key is lost, and whose door is sealed. Thereto I replied, O my lady, and thou wouldst know who I am Ali bin Mansur of Damascus, the wag, cup companion to the commander of the faithful, Harun al-Rashid. Now, when she heard my name, she came down from her seat and saluting me said, welcome, O Ibn Mansur. Now, will I tell thee my case and entrust thee with my secret. I am a lover, separated from her beloved. I answered, O my lady, thou art fair, and shouldst be on love terms with none but the fair. Whom, then, dost thou love? Quoth she, I love Jubayr bin Umayr al-Shaybani, Emir of the Banu Shayban. And she described to me a young man than whom there was no prettier fellow in Basra. I asked, O my lady, have interviews or letters passed between you? And she answered, yes, but our love was tongue love, not heart and soul love. For he kept not his trust, nor was he faithful to his troth. Said I, O my lady, and what was the cause of your separation? And she replied, I was sitting one day whilst my handmaid here combed my hair. When she had made an end of combing it, she plaited my tresses, and my beauty and loveliness charmed her. So she bent over and kissed my cheek. At that moment, he came in unawares, and seeing the girl kiss my cheek, straightway turned away in anger, vowing eternal separation and repeating these two couplets. If another share in the thing I love, I abandon my love and live lorn of love. My beloved is worthless if aught she will, save that which her lover doth most approve. From the time he left me to this present hour, O Ibn Mansur, he hath neither written to me nor answered my letters. Quoth I, and what purpose thou to do? Quoth she, I have a mind to send him a letter by thee. If thou bring me back an answer, thou shalt have of me 500 gold pieces. And if not, then 100 for thy trouble in going and coming. I answered, do what seemeth good to thee. I hear and I obey thee. Whereupon she called to one of her slave girls, bring me ink case and paper, and she wrote thereon these couplets. Beloved, why this strangeness, why this hate? When shall thy pardon reunite us two? Why dost thou turn from me in severance? Thy face is not the face I am wont to know. Yes, slanderers false my words, and thou to them, inclining made a spite and envy grow. And hast believed their tale, the heavens forbid. Now thou believe it, when best thou better trow. My life, tell what hath reached thine ear. Thou knowest what said they, and so justice show. And it be true, I spoke the words, my words, admit interpreting, and change allow. Given that the words of Allah were revealed, folk change the Torah, and still changing go. What slanders told they of mankind before? Jacob heard Joseph blamed by tongue of foe. Yea, for myself and slanderer and thee, an awful day of reckoning there shall be. Then she sealed the letter and she gave it to me. And I took it and carried it to the house of Jubayr bin Umayr, whom I found absent a-hunting. So I sat down to wait for him, and behold, he returned from the chase, and when I saw him, O Prince of True Believers, come riding up, my wit was confounded by his beauty and grace. As soon as he sighted me sitting at the house door, he dismounted, and coming up to me, embraced me and saluted me, and meseemed I embraced the world and all therein. Then he brought me into his house, and seating me on his own couch, called for food. They brought a table of kalanj wood, of Khorasan with feet of gold, whereon were all manner of meats, fried and roasted and the like. So I seated myself at the table, and examining it with care, found these couplets engraved upon it. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. So, it's going to last, that's the question. Oh, that's better. Last time I drank my tea in the last reading, it ended up being cold and it was so horrible. I'm going to do one quick thing, if I can, without distorting the camera picture, is I've just suddenly realised that, that's not going to work, is it? Unless I do that, maybe and take that one off. this is Joanna's high-tech studio. Oh, we'll have to whisk it. If I suddenly disappear, everybody, it's because I didn't plug my phone in. All right, so here we go. Are you all still sitting comfortably? Then let us begin. Now, when it was the 330th night, she said, "It has reached me, O auspicious king, that Ali, son of Mansur, continued. So I seated myself at the table of Jubayr bin Umayr al-Shaybani, and examining it with care, found these couplets engraven upon it. Upon these, which once were chicks, your morning glances fix. Let dwellers in the mansion of the cup, now nearly eaten up, let tears bedew the memory of that stew. Those partridges once roast, now lost. The daughters of the grouse in plaintive strain bemourn, and still bemourn, and mourn again. The children of the fry we lately saw have smothered in pilau, with buttery mutton fritters smoking by. Alas, my heart, the fish! Who filled his dish with flaky form in varying colours spread on the round pastry cake of household bread. Heaven sent us that kebab, for no one could, save heaven he should rob, produce a thing so excellently good, or give us roasted meat with basting oil so savourily replete. But, oh, mine appetite, alas for thee, who on that fumer eti, so sharpest wast a little while ago, that firm meaty, which mashed by hands of snow, a light reflection bore of the bright bracelets that those fair hands wore. Again remembrance glads my sense with visions of its excellence, and again I see the cloth unrolled, rich, worked in many a varied fold. Be patient, O my soul, they say, fortune rules all that's new and strange, and though she pinches us today, tomorrow brings full rations and a change. Then said Jubayr, put forth thy hand to our food, and ease our heart by eating of our victual. Answered I, by Allah, I will not, till thou grant me my desire. He asked, what is thy desire? So I brought out the letter and gave it to him. But when he had read it and mastered its contents, he tore it in pieces and throwing it on the floor said to me, O Ibn Mansur, I will grant thee whatever thou askest, save thy desire which concerneth the writer of this letter, for I have no answer to her. At this I rose in anger. But he caught hold of my skirts, saying, O Ibn Mansur, I will tell thee what she said to thee, albeit I was not present with you. I asked, and what did she say to me? And he answered, did not the writer of this letter say to thee, if thou bring me back an answer, thou shalt have of me 500 ducats, and if not, 100 for thy pains? Yes, replied I. And he rejoined, abide with me this day, and eat, and drink, and enjoy thyself, and make merry, and thou shalt have thy 500 ducats. So I sat with him, and ate, and drank, and made merry, and enjoyed myself, and entertained him with talk deep into the night. After which I said to him, "O my master, is there no music in thy house?" He answered, "Verily, for many a day we have drunk without music." Then he called out, saying, "Ho! Shajarat al-Dur!" Whereupon a slave girl answered him from her chamber and came into us with a lute of Hindu make, wrapped in a silken bag. And she sat down, and laying the lute in her lap, preluded in 21 modes. Then, returning to the first, she sang to a lively measure these couplets. Whoso ne'er tasted of love's sweets and bitter draughts, no different kens twixt presence bliss and absence stress. And so, who hath declined from love's true road, no difference kens twixt smooth and raggedness. I ceased not to oppose the votaries of love, till I had tried its sweets, and bitters not the less. How many a night my pretty friend conversed with me, and sipped I from his lips honey of loveliest. Now have I drunk its cup of bitterness, until 2 bondmen and 2 freedmen I have proved me base. How short-aged was the night together we enjoyed, when seemed it day break came and nightfall heel to press. But fate had vowed to disunite us lovers twain, and she too well hath kept her vow, that votaress. Fate so decreed it, none her sentence can withstand. Where is the wight who dares oppose his lord's command? Hardly had she finished her verses when her lord cried out with a great cry and fell down in a fit. Whereupon exclaimed the damsel, "May Allah not punish thee, old man. This long time have we drunk without music, for fear the like of this falling sickness befall our Lord. But now go thou to yonder chamber, and there sleep." So I went to the chamber, which she showed me, and slept till morning, when, behold, a page brought me a purse of 500 dinars, and said to me, "This is what my master promised thee, but return thou not to the damsel who sent thee, and let it be as though neither thou nor we had ever heard of this matter." "Hearkening and obedience," answered I, and taking the purse, went my way. Still, I said to myself, the lady must have expected me since yesterday, and by Allah, there is no help but I return to her and tell her what passed between me and him. Otherwise, she will revile me, and revile all who come from my country. So I went to her and found her standing behind the door, And when she saw me, she said, "Oh, Ibn Mansur, thou hast done nothing for me." I asked, "Who told thee of this?" And she answered, "Oh, Ibn Mansur, yet another thing hath been revealed to me, and it is that, when thou handest him the letter, he tore it in pieces, and throwing it on the floor, said to thee, 'O Ibn Mansur, I will grant thee whatever thou askest, save thy desire which concerneth the writer of this letter, for I have no answer to her missive.' Then didst thou rise from beside him in anger, but he laid hold of thy skirt, saying, 'O son of Mansur, abide with me today, for thou art my guest, and eat and drink and make merry, and thou shalt have thy 500 ducats.' So thou didst sit with him, eating and drinking and making merry, and entertainest him with talk deep into the night, and a slave girl sang such an air and such verses, whereupon he fell down in a fit. So, O Commander of the Faithful," I asked her, "wast thou then with us?" And she answered, "O Ibn Mansur, hast thou not heard the saying of the poet, 'The hearts of lovers have eyes I ken, which see the unseen by vulgar men. However, Ibn Mansur, the night and day shift not upon anything, but they bring to it change.'" And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. I think I'm really enjoying this story, so I'm going to read one more night for you tonight, everybody. I'm going to read the 331st. Try and say that one when you're drunk. I'm going to read to you the 331st night, and then it's only 2 pages, and then we'll call it a night tonight. I hope you're all still sitting comfortably. For those who joined us late, you can watch this also later on YouTube or here on Facebook. Do feel free to share it with your friends and family, colleagues, enemies, whoever, your boss. And do feel free to comment, to like, love, laugh, whatever it is. And we look forward to any feedback that you choose to give us. You can always also help us out by giving us a little donation on paypal.me/Vienna Theatre Project. So, when it was the 331st night, she said, "It has reached me, O auspicious king, that the lady exclaimed, 'O Ibn Mansur, the night and the day shift not upon anything, but they bring to it change.' Then she raised her glance to heaven and said, 'O my God and my leader and my Lord, like as thou hast afflicted me with love of Jubayr, even so do thou afflict him with love of me, and transfer the passion from my heart to his heart.' Then she gave me 100 sequins for my trouble in going and coming, and I took it and returned to the palace, where I found the Sultan come home from the chase. So I got my pension of him and fared back to Baghdad. And when next year came, I repaired to Basra, as usual, to seek my pension, and the Sultan paid it to me. But as I was about to return to Baghdad, I bethought me of the lady Budur, and said to myself, 'By Allah, I must needs go to her and see what hath befallen between her and her lover. So I went to her house, and finding the street before her door swept and sprinkled, and eunuchs and servants and pages standing before the entrance, said to myself, "Oh, most like grief hath broken the lady's heart, and she is dead, and some emir or other hath taken up his abode in her house." So I left it and went on to the house of Jubayr, where I found the benches of the porch broken down, and near a page at the door as of wont, and said to myself, "Haply he too is dead." Then I stood still before the door of his house, and with my eyes running over with tears, bemoaned it in these couplets: "O Lord of me, who fared but whom my heart e'er followeth, return, and so my festal days with you shall be renewed. I stand before the home of you, bewailing your abode. Quiver mine eyelids, and my eyes with tears are ever dewed. I ask the house and its remains that seem to weep and wail, where is the man who will and want to lavish goods and good? It saith, go wend thy way. Those friends like travellers have fared from springtide camp, and buried lie of earth and worms the food. Allah ne'er desolate us, so we lose their virtues light in length and breadth, but ever be the light in spirit viewed. As I, O Prince of true believers, was thus keening over the folk of the house, behold, out came a slave therefrom, and said to me, Hold thy peace, O Sheikh. May thy mother be reft of thee. Why do I see thee bemoaning the house on this wise? Quoth I frequented it of yore, when it belonged to a good friend of mine. Asked the slave, what was his name? And I answered, Jubayr bin Umayr the Shaybani. Rejoined he, and what hath befallen him? Praise be Allah, he is yet here with us in the enjoyment of property and rank and prosperity, except that Allah hath stricken him with love of a damsel called the Lady Budur, and he is so overwhelmed with his love of her and his longing for her, that he is like a great lock cumbering the ground. If he hunger, he saith not, Give me meat, nor if he thirst, doth he say, Give me drink. Quoth I, Ask leave for me to go in to him. Said the slave, O my lord, wilt thou go in to one who understandeth, or to one who understandeth not? And I said, Well, there is no help for it, but I see him whatever be the case. Accordingly, he went in to ask, and presently returned with permission for me to enter, whereupon I went into Jubayr, and found him like a rock that cumbereth the ground, understanding neither sign nor speech. And when I spoke to him, he answered me not. Then said one of his servants, O my lord, if thou remember out of verse, repeat it and raise thy voice, and he will be aroused by this and speak with thee. So I versified these couplets. Hast thou quit the love of moons, or dost persist? Dost wake o' nights, or close in sleep thine eyes? If aye thy tears in torrents flow, then learn. Eternal, thou shalt dwell in paradise. When he heard these words and verses, he opened his eyes and said, Welcome, O son of Mansur. Verily, the jest is become earnest. Quoth I, O my lord, is there aught thou wouldst have me do for thee? Answered he, Yes, 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 I would fain write her a letter and send it to her by thee. Excuse me, that was just my phone telling me that I've got a low battery. Yes, I would fain write her a letter and send it to her by thee. If thou bring me back her answer, thou shalt have of me 1,000 dinars. And if not, 200 for thy pains. So I said, Do what seemeth good to thee. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. Well, that is the end of my reading. I'm going to take a slurp of tea. That is the end of the reading of 1001 Nights Tonight. It's been lovely. Hello, Daniel. Hi, Abdu. Hi, Christian again. Hello, Hard Life from Cape Town. I love it. You know what I love about these readings? It's so great. You know, we started this out in we live in Vienna, Saman and I, and we started this out from our little abode in Vienna last March, and we are so thrilled and fascinated by the people who listen in all around the world. And I don't know if you saw our last special reading, which we had in the Grand Hotel in Vienna. If you want to check it out, of course, you can find it in our videos on Facebook, or you can look it up on YouTube. Excuse me. It was about it's naughty. It was about a month ago, but we had a little prize, a giveaway prize thing on that one because it was Valentine's Day a week later. So if you want to look at the date and find out what date and check out when it was a week before Valentine's Day, which will have been the 7th, I guess, of February. And we had a little Valentine's chocolate giveaway with these gorgeous chocolate hearts away. And we sent some to Denmark. Somebody in Vienna won a box. And was it to Guyana? We sent the other box. So all over the world. Isn't that fantastic? Really great. We had 3 to give away. So they reached different areas of the world, which is really, really great. And maybe for the next reading, the next special reading on the 20th of March, where we have our 1-year anniversary, a big celebration. Maybe for that one, we'll be able to conjure up something to give away and send to people for that celebration too. I did promise, for those of you who care or don't care, I don't know, I said at the beginning of the reading tonight that I was going to read a poem just because I felt like it, and it's a Friday evening and I can't go anywhere, and it beats watching telly because, you know, there's only so much telly that you can watch after a whole year of being almost constantly in some kind of curfew or another due to this silly pandemic. Thank you very much, the spreaders of the pandemic. We are so grateful to you, are we not? But if it had not happened, of course, I wouldn't have been able to read to all you lovely people. So it has some good things, I guess. So I'm going to take another slab of tea, and I promise to read a poem, which I'm going to do. And then what was I going to say? Yes, don't forget Cafe Contagion, everybody. You can buy tickets through our Vienna Theatre Project site. Just look at the other events on the Vienna Theatre Project event page. It's called Cafe Contagion. It only costs €10. People singing it, beautiful musical songs, beautiful pop songs, beautiful songs. I do a monologue, so I act on stage as well. Then we have other actors and actresses. There are 7 of us in total doing monologues to entertain you all. And I think there's about 4 songs in it. I think there's 4 songs and 6 monologues, or no, 4 songs and 7 monologues. Kudra sings, Dave sings. Yeah. No, excuse me. 5 songs and 7 monologues. So if you want to have a bit of light entertainment, it's only €10 a ticket. Eventbrite.de. Cafe Contagion, it's called. And in case you don't know what a contagion is, a contagion is what this pandemic is. The corona COVID virus is a contagion. Okay, so that's why we called it very cleverly Cafe Contagion. Right. I'm going to slurp my tea and I am going to read a poem. As I said I would. If you want to tune off now and you don't want to listen to me reading a poem in English, an English language poem, you're more than welcome to do so. You know what I have to say, actually, I was thinking this the other day. What always amazes me, and I hope our friends from the Middle East are not too offended. It amazes me. The other day there were even some Italian words in this translation. Today one of the little, as the poet saith, sounded even almost a little bit Scottish. You can. So it's always quite sweet, or not sweet. I don't know whether it's politically incorrect. The way it's been translated, and it is obviously so very British and pan-European and so on and so forth. And I think Saman Girard is watching this evening because Vienna Theatre Project has suddenly answered, but the other Vienna Theatre Project is sitting here talking to you. So good evening, Saman. I hope you are well. I'm just waving at her. We talk to each other almost every day, but we don't see each other every day. Occasionally we do online. We have a lot of Zoom conversations with each other because we discovered one day when we were sitting in the car together that we had to actually even wear masks sitting in the car together, because if we didn't wear a mask sitting in the car together, because we are not living in the same household, we could have potentially, if we'd been stopped, potentially get very heavily fined by the police. And it's a very, very strange thing. I don't know whether that's true anymore, actually. I mean, it can't be, because there are so many people walking around in the shops and stuff, and they're obviously not in the same household. So I don't know, maybe that's not true anymore, but it was when the hard lockdown was going on here over a week ago. It really was. You could get fined for all sorts of crazy, crazy things. So I promised I was going to read you a poem. I've got nothing better to do this evening, so that's what I'm going to do. So again, if you don't want to listen anymore, then good night, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure reading for you. Many blessings. If you want to listen to my poem, this will be my last gift to you this evening. And it's very prophetic and very profound. And it was written by a poet-writer called Robert Frost. And you may know this very famous title. I just went on the internet and and Googled most iconic poems in the English language. And this is one of the ones that came up. And I can't remember what number it was, but it's called The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And I may have actually read this once before. I'm not quite sure if I have. Forgive me if you never heard it before. You are going to listen to it and enjoy it now. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had some worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. So, to the sweet sounds of Kamyab Saderi, I am going to wish you all a very beautiful good night. If your day is just starting when you first listen in, I hope you have a very beautiful day. Otherwise, as I said, a very good night. I hope all your dreams are stunning and sweet and beautiful. I'm going to put up a link to Kamyab's music after this reading today. If you do want to share it with your friends, please do. Please give us feedback. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. We will also post it on YouTube. So if any of your friends do not have a Facebook account, by all means invite them to go to www.youtube.com/Vienna Theatre Project, and we have 3 playlists. One is some of our plays, one is some of our musicals, where, by the way, you can listen to some very nice music also, and one of them is 1001 Nights, and you can start from day one. In fact, you can start from the epilogue and work all your way down, or you do it here on Facebook. So it's from me and from Kamyab and from Saman, who is online with us as well, it would appear. A very, very good night. I hope you all have a great weekend. Saman will be back with you next Tuesday. Don't forget to tune in. Take care. Take care. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.